Okay, I was unsatisfied with my first attempt, and so I'm going to go over this again because it's bullshit. So another day, more bullshit. So you say freedom from anxiety, fear, envy, and hatred, and so on. Concern for the future. Love is sacrifice, desiring the good of another over mine. God's design and plan for me is better than anything I could ever make happen. This is faulty because no human can make any kind of life happen other than give birth. But that's not creation. In Christianity's, the religious sense, God created Adam and Eve from dirt and Eve his rib. That's magical design. That's magical creation. We don't do that. We reproduce. So, yeah. So, now another problem is you're saying that great freedom in submitting, but you're saying that God's design is anxiety, fear, envy, and hatred, which are, this is mental illness, and these are negative emotions, which is strange because fear and hatred are both supposed to be, fear is supposed to be a virtue. Fear God and whatever. And hatred of sin, whatever. As you would often say, hate the sin, not the sinner, which doesn't matter anyway because you're still preaching. Now, concern for the future. Well, another problem is, you're saying great freedom and submission from God's design, which is this. And what you're saying is submission is freedom from that, is your way to get the freedom from all this, God's design and plan. Now, another problem I have with this is, a plan. Why does an almighty creator who knows all need a plan? We plan to achieve, or we make plans to achieve an efficient and fast as possible outcome of something. But that's still things still go wrong, mistakes still happen. It's just a matter of efficiency and speed. Work out the rest after, or do without. But another problem is you say love is sacrifice. Well, okay. So I've already pointed out, why do you agree with God's design being this, which requires your submission to be freedom from it? And why do you agree that love is sacrifice? And, how is that good? How is that even love? And why do you even need freedom if God is, how is God's design good if it is all these that you need to submit in order to get freedom from? So, yeah. Now to go through this word salad of a Bible passage I don't know if it was you that did this or what. Not that it really matters. Okay, so I'll focus on the underlined part, then I'll get to the rest of it. This word salad. Pray to the tortures of infinite yearnings. Pray to the tortures of infinite yearnings. What do you mean by that? Or what does it mean by that? What's your interpretation of that? Nothing can fill up the infinite capacity in the human soul except, the human soul does not exist, or at least you can't prove it doesn't. You can't prove it does. And, nothing can fill up the infinite capacity. Nothing. This is meaningless because you can't prove the human soul exists. Therefore, you're only assuming it does because the Bible said so. That's nothing. This privilege belongs to the Creator alone. What does? What privilege? What are you talking about? You said, you've underlined pray to the tortures of infinite yearnings. How is that a privilege? Where's the privilege in that? Gotta keep my fingers out the fucking mouse. Um, yeah, okay, so nothing but God and the life of God can enter into the human soul, and therefore nothing but God can still its restlessness. What are you talking? What is that? What? What the hell does that mean? Nothing but God and the life of God can enter into the human soul. Okay, why do you want God? Well, why do you want God to exist to begin with, let alone have him enter into your human soul? Nothing but God can still its restlessness. What does that mean? Okay, of more capacity that has not been filled. Still a prey, okay, which have no way been appeased. What can physically enter into, take possession of it? What the fuck? And also that participation of his life, which he gives in grace and in glory. What grace and glory? And to that participation, what do you mean? Like, is this talking about life itself, like our life? If so, well, you guys like to talk about free will, which is choice. Well, why isn't birth or existence itself included in the free will package? Why couldn't we choose to not exist? Is this broken existence, this broken life, as Christianity would condemn it? Yeah, I think I'm done with that shit. Okay, so going back to the beginning here. Now I made a stupid mistake here, which I'll get to in a minute. Philippians was a book written about joy and contentment, yet penned from a prison cell. Our circumstances do not have to define us. Now I'm guessing, as I say in my reply, which I'm about to get to, I assume that she was talking about the prison or this mortal flesh prison that God has put us into because of sin. So, okay, so this is where this is embarrassing, but oh well. I'll owe up to it. I think I was tired that day or something. So those Philippians were all wrongfully accused and falsely convicted and imprisoned. I misunderstood that. I thought maybe he was saying that Philippians wrote a book, which doesn't make sense either because it then says written about, I don't know. Well, anyway, never mind that shit. I fuck up every now and then. The main point is that, it was a book written about joy and contentment, yet penned from a prison cell. Now, you imprison yourself and accept those circumstances by accepting the tyrant dictator, and you just ignore that. You say the irony of it all is that in submission to God's authority, which is love, how is submission a form of love? But you don't answer those questions. You just fucking preach at me because you're brainwashed. Happily a slave to him as opposed to my own selfish cruel will. To which I said, how is the expectancy of submission and authority forms of love, and why do you want either? Define freedom. You don't do that. You can't be a slave or selfish or have a will if you're happy being in that position. So God is cruel because he wants and expects everyone to submit to him, to be his slave, and to be happy to be a slave to him is not slavery. I mean, that's psychotic. Well, it would still be slavery. You're just happy being one, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Well, yeah, you'd still be a slave. Yeah, I'm never mind. I detract that comment. But either that, you're just a servant. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. To be happy to be a slave is And for God to expect that of people is not, or to, submit, calling it love is just, no, that's wrong. But anyway, I'll leave it at that.